Early access programs have been around a long time now, and definitely in the survival space, we've seen a plethora of really successful ones. Everything from DayZ to Rust to Ark all started out life in some sort of early access. But nowadays, even getting to that stage is increasingly tougher, and more people are turning to crowdfunding platforms, which have been around pretty much just as long. So that's what I'm taking a look at today. 3 survival games with potential. Some of them have got massive hype already and absolutely smashing their Kickstarter goals. Others look like they need a bit more work, but maybe will launch anyway. It's all just about how they're approaching it with money either for marketing, really adding new content, or maybe adding stuff that really should be part of the base game rather than stretch goals. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. 3 games, Autonomica, mixing big, huge, cozy vibes with automation as well as PvE, PvP gameplay, taking on spirits and ghosts as you build the house of your dreams with, a ton of automation. Everwind, formerly known as Skyverse, published by Bohemia, the makers of DayZ, this coming from a small team creating what essentially is a Minecraft-inspired game set in the clouds as you explore different islands in a fantasy vibe. And then Hawthorn, this got revealed last year. You will be playing as a variety of creatures with friendly NPCs that will help you if you want to avoid certain kind of styles of play. If you're into combat, then you may need to use the otters or the rats to help you as you play as an owl. Likewise, if you're looking for people to do a bit more farming and stuff, then you may need certain other NPCs to help. This one's probably got some of the biggest names working on it, but it's also one that probably troubles me the most. All 3 of these games definitely are on the cozy side if you view it that way, maybe for more younger audiences, and so you'll definitely find more info about all of these games on my other channel, Jade PG Crafted, where it's definitely a bit more family friendly survival and crafting games. But let's get into how these games are progressing with their Kickstarters and whether or not they're going to legitimately launch and kind of what to expect. Okay, so the biggest one by far right now, literally at the very end of its Kickstarter program, is the Autonomica game. It was previously labelled as Farm Folks. It's been rebooted a bunch of times from being something that looked like a bit of an Animal Crossing clone to being taken over by Creativo, a developer that has had a bunch of games come out in the most recent years. Now normally they're quite heavy on publishing small indie titles, but this is going to be their own actual game, and it's just a smorgasbord of crazy stuff, like mixing, blending Sims with Stardew Valley, Fortnite-esque maybe combat and movement with the characters in a vibrant, colourful world, and then chuck in satisfactory and farming vibes as you can automate processes from everything from growing your crops to going ahead and gathering resources. It honestly seems a bit too much, like everything is on show here. Anything you can imagine, you can do it. Want to drive around it in a sand dune buggy? Yep, got it. Want to build an automation empire to harvest and maybe destroy the world with pollution? Well, maybe not, as it seems to be a little bit more green focused with things like solar panels and wind energy. Want to romance the locals? Yeah, they might have that. They may even have children that you can have in the game. And most weird of all to me is mixing this kind of aesthetic with the things I've mentioned in a PvE PvP scenario, almost like Tarkov, where you'll go to certain worlds or maps, actually take on phantoms with guns and more, and then also try and avoid other players who can technically kill you. Helping you with that is the ability to have a mech suit, so they're going all Titanfall as well, with a huge amount of different ways to transport and go around the world. I don't think I've honestly seen a game like this, combining what so many different types of players really want in their games. And they are keen to stress that you can kind of just do what you want. You don't have to partake in everything. If you are a cozy farmer, then there's gameplay for you. If you're more into the technology and the automation, then that seems to be a big focus as well, and with the building elements too. And it does seem to show quite a few new things, like really easy to learn and easy to use mechanics, whether it's setting up your solar panel farms, utilising the power of water with underground pipes and more, with even some light terraforming so you can create your own ponds to fish in or set up your own swimming pools. And yep, Stardew Valley-esque or even Sims-like, you will be able to romance NPCs, and they're going to be adding a whole host of different ones, as well as obviously a big focus on character customization for yourself. It honestly does sound all crazily over ambitious, just so many different systems, so many different types of genre within the crafting or survival open world. Can they really deliver the quality that each one of them actually deserves and players would expect? Is it really going to be able to offer something for everyone? Or avoiding certain aspects if you really just don't like that kind of deal? But if it can pull it off, this playground of things that you can do, a virtual world that you can actually really take on board all the different types of gameplay and really make it your own, then that's got to be a game changer. And it looks like fans are definitely agreeing, as it's raised nearly $1 million already, although it is literally about to end its Kickstarter goal. They've absolutely smashed a bunch of their stretch goals, adding all sorts of things like aquariums and aquaponic farming, character height differences, pools and ponds, underwater exploration, kids, a modern city and new NPCs, and they're not that far off of actually reaching their Dino Crisis stretch goal. They look to have around 30 maybe people working on this game, and as I said, I have got experience of being a publisher that has utilised Kickstarter for a bunch of the games that they've actually helped publish in the past. This game, the name of it at least, is fairly new, but as I said, it started off as something called Farm Folks that really didn't get anywhere a good few years ago, and then it got overtaken by Creativo. So can they really deliver on this stuff? Maybe. The gameplay does look pretty interesting, absolutely. I think some of the gameplay on show looks on par with what you'd expect from modern games. No terrible screen tearing, it looks like the systems kind of work. So yeah, it absolutely has potential, and it could be one of the biggest games that launches maybe later on this year and will be coming to console in the future too. Now the slightly negative side. Kickstarter's always a bit of a risk. I've backed a bunch of games in Kickstarters over the years. In fact, I've actually stopped in the last few years because I was kind of sick and tired of games just not meeting their actual dates. It's kind of expected. You got to remember, these are tiny little game devs usually. But more often than not, the actual end product didn't really align or match with what I expected. Perhaps a bit of a bigger worry is the add-ons that they've got. And this is something Kickstarter will promote, but they've got a bunch of digital kind of goodies. Like you can have a specific type of mech, you can have unique kind of costumes, on top of all the different tiers that they've got, which range all the way up from like $30 to $5,000. But something just doesn't sit right with me when you're offering digital skins for your Kickstarter project before the actual game's even really going to come out. As far as I know, it's going to be a full price game, and if they want to support in the future with more skins and stuff and cosmetics, like a lot of other games, kind of in a similar vein like Palia most recently, or even Disney Dreamlight, whatever it's called, I get that. But having this front and centre as part of your Kickstarter program and really not offering that great value to me, there's no way in hell I would ever spend $500 on a collection of skins. Although if we all go and look through your Fortnite actual account purchases, I'm pretty sure you've probably spent thousands on games or similar in the last few years. So maybe I'm just out of touch with this. Of course, don't have to buy it. They are just extra add-ons. But this is the kind of stuff I would expect when the game's actually in full release, not even before it's come out. So, all that said, I am intrigued and I'm quite hyped about what this could offer. Definitely, obviously, again, a game that's going to be suitable on my Jade PG Crafted channel. It's got that family-focused vibe, it's got that chill element, but it does have that little bit of danger and excitement I need, hence why you don't see me playing actual just full-on cozy games. So yeah, this isn't an ad for the Kickstarter. I'm not really into promoting it too much. I'm just presenting what's there, and it's obviously up to you whether or not you want to go and take a look and back it. Seems like they might have some sort of preview from creators in August or September from what I gathered. So I'm definitely going to be covering this. I've already done a few little videos on my other channel taking a look at some of the details, and I'll probably go over a lot of what I spoke about today in more detail once we see some of this finalised. But yeah, I love the idea of a automation game with a little bit of combat and stuff like that, so this could be good. So next up, something very different in terms of how much money they've managed to raise, but also I'm questioning why they need a Kickstarter in the first place. This is the game that I said was called Skyverse, again another one that's changed their name most recently to Everwind, and at first glances it kind of looks like a Minecraft Roblox game. Why play this when there's a bunch of mods that have sky islands and stuff, or most recently big air games like a Loft? But to know, I actually like the vibe of this. I think it has definitely got some cool features that maybe set it apart. It is a fantasy kind of medieval world with magic, alchemy and more. And while I feel I've seen these types of character models overplayed in so many different games, it does look like these are a little bit more unique. Exploring dungeons, going up in elevation as you progress through the game, unlocking new gear, finding new loot, and being able to obviously go ahead and mine all of the terrain that you see and utilize it for your airship. So although it does feel very Minecraft-like, the focus is about building a giant airship and customizing it however you want to fly up and down to various different levels, pretty much situated on these islands. Focus on weapons and magic and all sorts of different types of classes you would expect in a fantasy game. All done in a first person viewpoint as well, with the combat actually not looking too shabby. There's bow classes of course, and yeah, taking a look at some of the environments that this has all been shown off in, expect the kind of normal sort of stuff: swampy and murky gas filled swamps, cold mountainous kind of islands, desert style temples that you'll need to explore. You get the vibe, and of course this is a co-op game as well that you'll be able to play with your friends, just like Autonomica. So their actual target was only 25,000, and they'll probably about reach it. They're about halfway through their campaign, but they are also published by Bohemia, which of course have got a lot of money rolling around, obviously having made the Daisy and Armour series, and yeah, they do publish other games. Wildlands was kind of like a creative take on Minecraft and did very well in Asia and on mobile apparently. But I do question then why this dev studio needs to raise such a small tiny amount. Why aren't they getting more help from Bohemia? It looks like this game and Autonomica are definitely going to be made regardless of their Kickstarter goals or not. But in this case particularly, it looks like this is maybe just trying to drum up some extra money for a little bit of extra marketing, or to simply go ahead and pay the developers while they wait for hopefully sales to go through as they release their game. But it's not going to be coming out until early next year. And Bohemia don't seem to be behind this as massively. I've not seen too much on socials promoting it. So yeah, I don't mind games being inspired. Obviously there's 1,000,000,001 Minecraft kind of clones out there now, but if they can elevate it with things like fast-paced combat and really have different types of classes that you can utilize, making the loot searching actually fun and interesting, then yeah, I think this has a good chance of standing on its own. And then on to the final one that I definitely probably got the most concern about. Hawthorn kind of came out of nowhere with a small little trailer last year, maybe the Summer Games show and stuff, and basically you can play as a owl, a stoat or some sort of otter, and maybe even some rats. So I'm always going to be supporting the rat fam. Think Wind in the Willows or maybe Beatrix Potter, helmed by a team that got huge experience working on games like Skyrim, Bethesda and obviously BioWare. Their kind of dev blog trailer for their Kickstarter does focus quite a bit on the devs, and it would have been nicer to see just more gameplay and some of the concept stuff. But I'm digging the vibe of this. Like the Redwall series is a series of books that I maybe read a little bit of when I was much younger. It's set in an open world with this kind of, foresty glade vibe, maybe British style. Running around the overgrowth, going ahead and gathering resources, growing your own crops, and interacting with NPCs, and basically getting other small NPCs that you can control like minions to help you build out a cozy home. At the moment this doesn't have particular base building in it. It looks more like a settlement where you can just maybe upgrade and unlock new things as you progress. I like the idea of this though, like more realistic. How are you going to hold a sword if you're an owl? Why not just go ahead and command your army of rats to get involved in the combat? Likewise, if you're a rat, then maybe the best way to travel is to use your owl to go ahead and fly to other places. So it is going to be a multiplayer game as well. But certainly at this early stage, not enough has been shown with the combat and how that stuff really will pan out. It's definitely more of that cozy, chill vibe, and you've got to feel this kind of aesthetic. Playing as creatures can often seem really interesting and cool, but I have just found in various different games it's not always as exciting, especially some of the dinosaur games out there like Path of Titans. So if they can get across that kind of hurdle and make the world interesting and make it responsive how you can move around as a creature and the skills and talents that you'll be able to use, then yeah, this could be good. But it is a game that's already kind of bemoaned the fact that they're in real risk of shutting their little tiny studio down already, and they haven't really made anything before. A few articles went out a little while ago saying that they basically have got no money, they're looking for a publisher to help fund it, and they're really getting the Kickstarter to make a full demo. So this is definitely something that is going to definitely need a lot more time. And the Kickstarter's really not guaranteeing a actual release date anytime soon. It's literally just to help drum up, I guess, more interest and hopefully get picked up or some sort of partnership, unless they can hit their stretch goals and really maintain their development on their own. They've got ambitious plans like getting the voice actor of Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher series to come and be one of the voice actors, and a slew of others too, but only if they hit some major funding goals, like literally millions of dollars. It has hit nearly $200,000 already and have got a good few days to go. But I do wonder about some of the wisdom of some of their stretch goals and stuff, like the building system being needed quite high to get like 300,000 before they'll contemplate it. Or I should say $400,000. As Kickstarters go, there's quite a lot of info, but it's quite dense and it's maybe not as feature rich as we've seen from something like Autonomica. So that's really the telling tale that a small dev team find it hard to get this kind of stuff all together in such a short space of time. But yeah, with their stretch goals literally, like I said, mounting to the millions, I just can't see it actually hitting anywhere close to the kind of funding they think they might need to make a full experience. So there we go, bit of a different video from me today, just taking a look at the viability of these types of games that get funded through Kickstarter, or at least are assisting and helping them, and what to really expect. I do get hype for games. I promote and hype so much sometimes, and then obviously sometimes games do kind of let you down or they don't match your expectations. But I'm always going to still want to try and hype games. I always believe in the good, and I've played so many great games that just needed a little bit of help with marketing and stuff, and when they've come out they've been great. But I want to make sure I'm clear and fair as well, and try and present negatives and positives from everything. So yeah, go and check it out yourself. You've got Google, you can look up all of these names for yourself on Kickstarter. If you want to contemplate backing them, let me know what you think, which ones draws your attention the most, if any at all, of course. The third plug and final plug, do go and check out my Jade PG crafted channel. I've hit 50,000 subscribers and I cover games like Grounded, Smalland, Core Keeper, and these the kind of games that I'm sure will gel with that channel if they do come out eventually. So until next time, Ratbags, I'll catch you for more survival games news, talk and discussion. Bye bye.